Yo, what's good? What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a great day. It's Neff, and today we're going to be looking at Havoc Sims going into 10.2. But before we get into the video, I'm going to do a little shout out for my UI. If you like the UI you see here in the video, it's available for my Twitch subs and patrons and Discord members, like premium members, whatever. It's the new thing they added to Discord. If you're interested in that, or you want to learn more about it, you can join my Discord and ask me questions. I support all the specs. All of it is updated for 10.2. Which will be released very soon. I have all the new tier sets added for every spec. I have all the new trinkets, some raid stuff, and Mythic Plus and all that stuff. Everything will be updated for 10.2, and it will be released very soon. But yeah, so if you're interested in that, links in the description. Like I said, Patreon, Twitch, Discord, links to everything in the description. If you want to check that out, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, let's just get into the video. So first off, I just want to say, for everyone's sanity, 90% of the items, more like 99% of the items in these Sims, at least the gear from the next season, will all be from the new raid, besides Double Time, which is basically our only big chase item from Mythic Plus. It's the weapon from Dawn of the Infinite. It's basically our only big chase item from Mythic Plus. Everything else is just like side grades and like just balancing stats a little bit here and there. But yeah, simming gear for Mythic Plus at max item level is almost a waste of time because of how unlikely it is to get those specific items, like a neck with a little bit better stats from the vault at max item level. And by that point in the season, when you do end up getting something like that, you should probably be simming your own character for each individual upgrade anyways. But yeah, I'll try and talk a little bit more about each build as we move into the in-game builds or whatnot, and how to optimize that gear from Mythic Plus. But like I said, for everyone's sanity, and so there isn't a million different combinations of gear, this is what I'll be doing and how we'll be looking at our Sims. But either way, even with gear from Mythic Plus, 90% of our quotation mark BIS gear will come from the raid anyways. But later on, when I release my guide for 10.2, probably here in a couple days or whatnot, I'll include Mythic Plus gear and raid gear and everything like that. It's like a BIS list that I do every tier. I'll show you last season's, and it is going to look a little bit different than this current tiers, or last season, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people are complaining about like the bright colors and stuff in the black background, so it will look a bit better, I hope. And along with the BIS list, I'll come out with the document that I do also every tier. That it's kind of like a guide on different builds, stat priorities, everything like that. And yeah, that'll come with the new guide for 10.2 as well. Like I said, we'll be on a couple days or like a week or something, definitely before the patch drops, so very soon. So to start off, we'll look at our sim right when the patch drops, or pre 2-piece from the new raid. But once we get our 2-piece, our build's going to change a little bit. This build here is what I found to sim the highest. It is very similar to our new build that we'll be playing, and I know there's been a couple builds floating around that we might be playing, but this is the one that I found to sim the highest by a couple thousand more. This is like a gear compare to show embellishments. So currently the highest simming is obviously Toxic Thorn foot wraps with the toxic patch on the legs, and then second we have Spore Cloak with the Toxic Thorn foot wraps. Then third, we have Spore Cloak with the Shadow Flame embellishment. And then fourth, we have Spore Cloak with the Blue Silken Lining. So for progression during the raid, I recommend everyone just wear Spore Cloak. Got buffed by a decent amount damage-wise, and now gives flat burst. So it's a pretty good option for damage. And the survivability you gain from it is just, crazy, with the huge absorb shield you get once you drop below 30% health, and the passive healing that you get. And to maintain the verse while being above 70% health as demon hunters, that's not really a problem because of how much we leech. So yeah, my recommendation is to run Spore Cloak and Toxic foot wraps. Later on, Blue Silken Lining does scale a little bit better, and it will be a little bit better on a ring because supposedly you get more stat from Blue Silken Lining when it's on a ring. Yeah, either way, I wouldn't recommend running Blue Silken Lining because the uptime on it is just very random, and it can vary on a lot of different things, different bosses, just a lot of different things. And it's toxic foot wraps with Spore Cloak will be your most consistent go-to embellishment setup. Now with the recommended embellishment setup, this is what our sim will look like once we get a normal 2-piece. Normal is 460 item level for the chest and the legs. And then our build changes a little bit. You can see this is the old build that we're going to be running before 2-piece, and then once we acquire 2-piece, this is what our build changes to. And I'll link all the different builds with titles and everything for them in the description of this video. The best tier pieces you want are the chest piece and the legs. They're our best stats from tier, and they give the most stats, which is really nice. And swapping to this build and acquiring 2-piece is around an 11k increase, because we're simming with the new build here with the without 2-piece, so it is a little bit lower. But as you can see here, 143k. Once we get 2-piece, we go up to 154.9k. So this is just acquiring 2-piece and changing the build to what our main raid build will be. We're the highest simming raid build. Then here we're still in the same build. This is still the highest simming raid build. Here we're simming 2-piece plus 2-piece against 4-piece, and the 2-piece wins. Double 2-piece wins against 4-piece. Here is where we have 4-piece, and it's losing by 0.3%. So yeah, if you get normal tier, or I think, yeah, this is normal. So if you get normal tier, it's better to be using 2-piece over 4-piece with full normal tier. It might scale a little bit better if you get more total item level, like you get some wrist, or you get a new belt or something. It might scale a little bit better. Just going from tier set to tier set, 2-piece at normal item level is better than 4-piece. So that is something to consider. Our 4-piece, it's not very great. But then we have here, again, same build. This is all heroic tier. Heroic tier is better than 2-piece by a slight amount, by 1.2%. Yeah, our 4-piece is just not great. Here's the best setup of 4-piece, and this is basically just from item level. And this is 2-piece, with the helmet being 3-piece, so it'd be 3-piece, 2-piece. Yeah, our 4-piece is not great. It's not very good. Yeah, this is definitely something you want to sim yourself because of how close it is. Once you get once you're at this point where you have 2 tier pieces where we're running 2-piece, and then you eventually get 4-piece, it's definitely something you want to sim yourself, because it could scale with certain items that you have. It could push 4-piece over 2-piece by a little bit, or not. Just something you definitely need to sim yourself as you go. But yeah, with 100% certainty, once you acquire full heroic tier, that is when 4-piece overtakes 2-piece. So going from sim to sim, we did make quite a jump in DPS, but this sim here is with full max heroic upgraded gear. The embellishments on this top sim is double blue silken lining, and then obviously I have down here some other embellishments. This is probably the embellishment setup that I'll be running. It just depends on the bosses and if blue silken lining, if we can maintain that uptime, but I will 100% be still using Spore Cloak, just because of how good it is defensively and how minor of a loss it is to play it for offense. So yeah, top sim is double blue silken lining on the wrist and on the ring, and then we're still running the same build. It's the highest simming build here, and then Spore Cloak blue silken lining is 0.5% behind at a 70% uptime, and then Spore Cloak toxic foot wraps is 1.7% behind. But again, this Spore Cloak and foot wraps will be way more consistent than blue silken lining. So just use blue silken lining with caution. And next we have the same gear setup, full maxed out heroic gear, double blue silken lining. It's the top simming one, but this is with the Immolation Aura talent setup. So this build is a bit different, and once you have some ads in the play, it will perform better than this build. Most in 9 out of 10 times when there's ads in the fight, this is probably what you'll be wanting to play because of how close it is in single target and how much better it is in AoE. This is probably what you'll be wanting to play on something like the first boss and the second boss. Maybe on the first boss you'd run Rage Fire, but on something like Agira, I think is what it's called, the second boss, you'd probably just want to run this build because it's just about the same single target and a lot better cleave. And then coming in last simming, we have the no mover build. So this is what the build looks like. It's pretty demonic. It's just basically straight down the tree. And then yeah, same gear setup, but Spore Cloak and Blue Silken Lining, single Blue Silken Lining, overtake double Blue Silken Lining with the no mover build. We got a little shake up in the embellishments. But yeah, all these sims will be linked in the description. All the builds will be linked if you want to check all this stuff out. And yeah, let's move on to our final set of sims. With only gear from the raid and a single double time at max item level, max mythic item level, this is what we're simming at. This is, I'm pretty sure, with the Signet brand nerf in. So yeah, the final set of sims we'll look at is max mythic item level, fully upgraded with crest and everything like that. This is the best simming setup for a single target. Again, same build. We're running a double time at 489. God help us all. Hopefully everyone gets one of these in their vault. Then we have the embellishment setup. It's still the same thing. Double Blue Silken Lining simming the highest. Then Spore Cloak, double Blue Silken Lining is simming second. Then Spore Cloak and Foot Wraps. Again, this is going to be your most consistent. It's just, you know, it's just how it is with Blue Silken Lining. You can't, it's very RNG to get certain uptimes. And yeah, I just recommend running this. Can't stress that enough. And then next we have the Immolation Aura build. Yeah, again, this build's going to be better off in cleave. Like I said earlier, on certain bosses where there's, you know, multiple ads out, this build will just perform better overall and throughout the fight. But we do have a bit bigger of a discrepancy in embellishments. Spore Cloak and one Blue Silken Linings are about the same like all the time. But then once we get rid of Blue Silken Lining, because we lose that mastery, because this build is a lot better with mastery because of any means necessary and a fire inside and just buffing our Immolation Aura damage with mastery. Obviously losing that mastery is going to take our damage down a little bit, but at a 2% loss, being way more consistent, it's just, again, I keep repeating myself, it's just way more consistent. And yeah, play what you want, but this will be, yeah. Anyways, moving on. This is a no mover build. No mover build, again, straight down the tree. These builds will be in the description. Embellishment setups are exactly the same. You know, Foot Wraps a little bit behind. Double Blue Silken Lining, which I recommend nobody use this, but it is like the highest simming embellishment setup we have. Whatever you decide on doing for your embellishments, I recommend just implementing Spore Cloak into it. Whatever you think you should play Spore Cloak plus X. You can play around with stuff, do whatever. I just highly recommend using Spore Cloak. And yeah, just because of how broken it is. So here are the Trinket Sims at max gear. Best simming single target build. It's running double Blue Silken Lining, which is the best embellishment setup, like DPS wise. And yeah, it looks like our best trinkets are Cataclysmic Signet brand and Coiled Serpent Idol, with Verax coming a little bit behind, only 0.4% behind the Coiled Serpent Idol and the Signet brand. I'm not going to go through every single setup, but I will talk a little bit about them. This Witherbark's branch could be really good in Mythic Plus. It lines up with our meta, and mastery is really good for us in AoE. And this thing at max item level, it gives a metric fuck ton of mastery. It's like, what would that be, like almost 6.2k at 3 stacks. And the way this thing works is you use it, 3 orbs spawn around you. You can pick up one and then it'll give you a 10-second buff with 2000 mastery. You can pick up another, it'll refresh that buff, then you'll have 4000 mastery. Then you can pick up another and it'll refresh the buff again, and then you'll have 6000 mastery. So I think the best way, if you are going to run this, the best way to use this is you would instantly pick up 2, you know, do a little bit of damage, and then while you're still in meta and stuff, you pick up the 3rd, refresh the buff, and then basically the mastery buff will last throughout the entire meta duration. But this is a very tedious trinket to play around, and yeah, it's a very weird one. Then we have the Twisted Blades. I've tested this like in raid testing and on dummies and stuff, and it doesn't do very much damage, but it does send pretty well. And then pips, just a stat stick that like decays over time, gives you a fuck ton of stat off the rip, and it like cycles through different stats that you'll get. And yeah, I think this is a pretty cool item, and it sends decently well. What is it? It's only 1.4% behind Boiled Serpent Idol. So I mean, our options for trinkets are not bad at all. You know, we seem to be, you know, really versatile in the trinket selection. But yeah, most of our best trinkets are coming from the raid. Some are from Mythic Plus, like Witherspark Branch and the Porcelain Crab. But yeah, I'll link this in the description as well. Like I said, I'm not going to go through every single trinket setup and talk about it. You know, if you want to look at all of them, there they are. It'll be linked. Yeah, this is a quick look at the guide. I'm not gonna scroll through it. I'm just gonna give a little sneak peek of it. It's not completely done yet. I still have a bunch more stuff to do to it before I actually release it. I might release it to my subs and patrons and, you know, Discord premium members or whatever the hell it's called. I might release it and let them see it as it progresses, and see things change and stuff. But then once I release my actual guide video, then I'll release it to the public. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with stuff for like patrons and stuff like that, where they get like, you know, bonus content or something. I don't know. Or they get special access to stuff. But yeah, that's something you're interested in. Let me know. I might do that. Sorry for everybody who's not subbed or whatever, but something I might do. And even if I did it behind closed doors, you wouldn't know. But I'm out here telling you guys, right? Yeah, I probably flash blinged the shit out of you with that, though. That was pretty fucking bright. But anyways, those are all the Sims that I compiled that will perform the best from raid gear. Again, if you're looking to optimize stuff, like all of this stuff is basically BIS. Like these are the best shoulders you can get from the raid. The two necks are very good from the raid. Both cloaks are pretty good since we like verse now. You can't replace any tier pieces basically. The only optimizations you can do from Mythic Plus are basically your belt, your neck, one ring slot, and that's basically it. There's like 3 pieces where you can optimize a little bit more from Mythic Plus, but that's it. I think like the current max sim is like 248k or something. That's with like perfect, you know, optimization of Mythic Plus gear and everything like that. It's literally like what, 0.5% increase from getting turbo lucky 489 great vault gear from Mythic Plus. And by that point, like I said in the beginning of the video, you should be simming your own character upgrade by upgrade. You should every single time you open your vault, you should be simming your character. Hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, be sure to leave a like and a comment, and let me know if I fucked anything up. Yeah, if I fucked anything up, let me know. If you think I'm an idiot, let me know. I would love to hear it. And yeah, 10.2 guide will be coming out very soon. Yeah, till next time, peace.